Welcome to the McEnulty Method, where financial expert Frank McEnulty and Colin Sorrells are going to share their expertise and knowledge with us so that we might make some smarter choices financially. And tonight, Frank, I understand that with all that's happening in the world today, you want to discuss why the news isn't always our friend when it comes to investing.
You're, First, hi Bill, hi Colin. But yes, Bill, you're absolutely right. It's not. Last night, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock, I get a text from my brother. The market's crashing. The market's crashing. The market's crashing. I get up this morning, it's down. I don't know. By the time I looked, it was down 600 points. I guess it opened up down 800 points. I was like, okay, it's going to happen. So first thing you have to ask yourself, did anything change in the world that directly affects your company that you're invested in? Really? No. I mean, it's horrible what's happening in Ukraine, but is it directly that? And so then what happened as the day went on? I'm gonna share a little chart here. Yeah, this is a 5-day chart. This was yesterday. It sort of fell off a cliff and yeah, it's bouncing along. But then all of a sudden, well, son of a gun, now it's higher than it started out 5 days ago. So the world, whenever something drastic happens, there's a knee-jerk reaction. And yes, you can say, well, I'm gonna sell at the top and buy at the bottom. Well, here's what usually happens. By the time you get yourself worked up enough, you sell right around here, somewhere right near the bottom. Then it's like, and then you go, oh, I feel better. I can't lose any more money. And you go off to work or something, and a few hours later, you turn on the TV and you're like, oh no, it's all the way up here. I got to buy back in. So really, it's not a good plan. You're supposed to be an investor, not a trader. A trader sits there, watches the screen, and says, "Okay, it's going down. I'm going to sell." Then, as soon as it looks like it's going up, they buy. Investors buy good companies, buy good mutual funds, buy good ETFs, and just say, in the long run, which is when I need my money, it's going to be fine. Colin, what do you think?
No, I completely agree. If you're an investor, it's you accept the fact that things like these are going to come up. What's never made sense to me very much, because if you go when the COVID pandemic first started, and you can see a very similar chart, not all in 1 week, but over the course of a couple weeks, that very similar drop and comes back up. And unless you do this for a living as a trader, I've never understood what the advantage was of, I have to have all my money. The world's coming to an end, so I need to have those dollar bills because that's what's going to get me through this.
I'm sure there's psychology papers written on this galore. I've never read it, but it's in the last couple of days, I've actually been watching it a lot more than I normally would because of my international finance classes. We trade currencies. And obviously, it's been a good time to short the Russian ruble. It's going down. But in a class yesterday, when I believe the ruble was down like 10%, which is a huge movement in currencies. 10% in a day is a huge movement. The class decided it's probably gone far enough. Let's buy the ruble. And son of a gun, if we didn't make money because it had gone far enough, So yeah, who knows what's going to happen over the weekend? It's the whether you have a positive outlook and I believe or negative outlook on life. It's like, okay, well, over the weekend the world can come to an end. Well, if it does, you don't need any money anyways. But if it doesn't, the fundamental economy of the United States did not change. Yes, we're going to be paying more for oil, which is going to cause people to spend more money on gas. But if you own oil stocks, it means you're going to make more money. So it's the bottom line is don't panic, especially if you have a long-term horizon. And even if you're my age and Bill's age, we still have a long-term horizon. We still need our money for hopefully 20 more years. If you're 89 years old, you're probably not going to panic anyways because you've seen this 6 times. So yes, don't panic. And I hate to agree with some of these talking heads on Wall Street, but don't try to sell at the top and buy at the bottom. You're not that good. It's that simple.
It's almost.
Somebody once told me the market was very much like a herd of nervous deer or antelopes, and they can be out there and they're eating, and suddenly a bird lands and it throws them into a panic, and they all start galloping for the closest cliff to jump off. So, is that a fair description of what Wall Street is like?
I think so to a certain extent, because they now have all these algorithmic trading programs. So the computers, who aren't our friends, have taken over. So if they see if the computer somehow senses, the algorithm senses that the market's going to go down, they start selling, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy until something in their little computer brain tells them, well, it's gone far enough, and they start buying. So it runs it back up again. I mean, I have to admit, this is the wildest 2-day swing I think I've ever seen. Usually it takes, usually my joke always is, it falls off a cliff, the market falls off a cliff, and then it's got to crawl back up. But not today. It fell off the cliff and it jumped in the Palm Springs gondola ride and went right back up to the top. So, knee-jerk reaction.
It's
All
almost, if you're an investor, and you see this, and if you're really astute, you do the opposite of selling. You buy when you see everyone else selling. Especially if you've seen this, 6 times, as you've said. Because little jumps like these happen not infrequently, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think this one was a little tougher because no one knew exactly how crazy Putin is, and we still haven't been shown, I don't think. So we'll see. By next week, we'll see what's happened again.
So, do you think possibly we could go into a real pogo stick ride here with these world events?
I think it's a distinct possibility. Somebody says something stupid, something blows up, we're going down. All of a sudden, looks like everybody's going to be semi-nice, it goes up. Yeah, I think volatility is back.
And if you're an investor, don't worry about it. Just ride it out.
As long as the long-term trend is uphill, that's all you care about.
All right. And they say that it always is.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. So it's nice to hear. We just set it and forget it.
Set it, check it every now and then, and forget it.
All right.
Okay.
Again,
All right.
thanks for the tips and the wisdom, and we'll see you next time.